This page was created to teach Black history. Unfortunately, the American educational system was designed to exclude our real historical account, so we are here to dismantle it. It's time to enlighten those of us who have been kept in the dark. I am a Black man who didn't know enough about my own history, so I began to dig deeper and do my own research. Black history is American history, so I want people of all races and cultures to join together to learn our history as one. Here, I will share all of my findings. Please like, follow, share, and subscribe to Teaching Black History. The story of Archer Alexander. Alexander was born near Richmond, Virginia, about 1810 as a slave. Archer's father was sold to pay off debts while Archer was still a child, but shortly thereafter, Delaney died and left Archer to his son. Tom Farrell, who moved to Missouri in 1831, taking his slave with him. Alexander's mother, left behind in Virginia, died only a few months later. Alexander himself was hired out by Farrell to local brickyards in St. Louis until he needed even more money when he sold Alexander to a farmer named Richard H. Pittman. Archer married an enslaved woman named Louisa Alexander, was purchased in 1844 and worked for Hickman for more than 20 years. He was sufficiently respected by his slaveholder that he was given the responsibility of functioning in an overseer capacity on the farm. During this time, Archer and Louisa became the parents of several children, some of whom his slaveholder sent away because of their behavior. Before the onset of the American Civil War, Alexander listened to the political discussion and determined that he would flee from his life in slavery if the opportunity arose. In 1861, Alexander conveniently notified a group of Union troops that a bridge they intended to use had been sabotaged by Confederate sympathizers. He was shortly thereafter suspected of being the source of this information and had to flee the farm. He was captured by slave catchers, but he broke free and returned to St. Louis, where he obtained employment under protection of the federal provost marshal. He went downtown to look for work in one of the public markets. Elliot's wife was there as well, having come to hire a servant. She hired Alexander and brought him home. Alexander proved to be reluctant about his recent history, leading Elliot himself to suspect that Alexander was an escaped slave, which left him in an uncomfortable situation. He had some years earlier stated that he personally would never return a fugitive slave to his former master, and he now faced that very situation. He obtained a certificate to keep Alexander for 30 days and quickly wrote Hickman offering to pay Alexander for him. Hickman turned down the offer, vowing he would have the slave back. 2 days before the expiration of a certificate, Alexander was found by some slave catchers Hickman had evidently hired. Elliot managed to find Alexander and keep him safe until the Emancipation Proclamation was issued. Alexander and his wife were reunited, if only for a short time. In 1866, Louisa decided to return to Naylor's house for some things she had left there. Alexander would later find out that Louisa had died 2 days after her arrival of unidentified disease. In 1869, Elliot was working with a group to build a statue of Lincoln. The funding for an Emancipation Memorial featuring a statue of Lincoln had begun with a $5 donation from a former slave, and Alexander was chosen as the model. In 1876, the statue was unveiled. He died in St. Louis, Missouri on December 8, 1879.